nějak jakoby nás se ti amici netýká, jenom budeme souběžně postupovat s ním až do bodu 4. Od bodu 4 jsme na to čistě sami.
Co znamenají ty kolečka na měst broše a tam dole?
To si nevšímej, to řeší někdo jiný. To je jakoby jenom z hlediska arbička. Já to označím, ještě to udělám takhle. Já to zelenou čárou takhle oddělím. Není to rovný, já vím. Ať si to nepletem.
Otázka, podpora nějaká? Dostřelectvo nebo letectvo?
Jediná podpora, co máme, jsou tady naši hodní chlapci z Aurory. Takže letectvo.
A amici mají nějakou techniku?
Mají k dispozici Gripen, pokud vím. A nějaký vrtulníky.
Fuck you, Biden!
Tak má big.
No,
jsou tanečky.
Tady jsou tanečky?
Cože?
Janky mi kouří péra, kouř, zmij ho! Dělej, kouř!
So when I said in the mission, it was a semi-mill sim. Here's your mill sim. But here's true military right here.
Kolik je nás teda jako celkem?
Honestly, if you were to show me a group of this and this is the real military right here. Oh, that's funny.
Dobré, no.
Just imagine everyone trying to have a brief right here, and then everyone else is memeing around over here. It's perfect.
Tak co bude?
On úplně na tom streamu, on tam na streamu ukazuje, jako jsou tam krásně nastoupení, úplně všichni saluty a my tady jak hovada.
Don't worry about what you just walked into. This is a PvE Zeus op. How do I word this? Once in a while, I like to accept gigs where I literally just spectate stuff. Sometimes I stream them, sometimes I don't. This one I was told I could stream. But one of the habits I like to do is watch how a community performs. Because I take what I learn from that and I apply it to my own forte, if that makes any sense. So this is going to be about a 30-person Czech Republic operation. And they're going to play as themselves in a hypothetical German Civil War scenario. Where I forget the exact term, I have it in the mission. Niceionists or something like that are basically trying to stir up trouble. And they were able to raid a US military base in the region for additional gear because the US pulled out and left a bunch of shit. Which, at first when I read that briefing, I was questionable about that, but then I read about what happened at Kundo's airport and I've realized, yeah, no, that's totally something that would happen. So they're briefing right now. This should be a 2 to 3 hour thing, but their battle plan is right here. They have this for show to state that other forces are doing that while they work on this. And it's basically going to be a clearing of towns and then an eventual make it to the military base, clear that out, and then get extracted. And we're going to watch just to see how these guys perform. And hopefully it won't get too dicey. I was actually told this might be a little dull, but nonetheless, I find it interesting to look at things. And then if the Zeuses want my feedback at the end, they're free to, ask for it. I'm not going to openly critique. No, that's a lie. I probably will. Never mind. I was just, because the last two I didn't stream. I just kind of watched and wrote down notes. But this one, since I have an audience, yeah, I'll be a little, I won't be mean about it, but I'll try to be as supportive as I can. But what's interesting about watching, usually I'm given a Zeus interface to watch. This is actually going to be a, no, Zam, no, we're not doing those jokes. Stop it. Not again. I was dreading this. You're going to come in with the Czech jokes. I knew it would happen. I'm telling you, no. Bad. But they already have some of the AOs that are going to be going first garrisoned here. And again, the really interesting about doing it with the spectator interface is I don't see where the bad guys are. I have to find them to show them off. So if we look over here, for example, if we look in the direction, actually we don't even see them from here. Let me go back real quick. So we got symbolism for all the players, but the AI are going to be hidden from us. So what you'll see me do is switch to the thermal camera from time to time to look at where the actual enemy positions are. So they've got a very big mix of gear here. I've already been scoping out where most of these guys are. They've got a mix of various different types of equipment, from older to newer from that US raid. But there's at least been 30 or 40 different guns I've seen in terms of types. So we'll just follow along. One thing I have noticed, though, is I haven't seen any heavy AT. I haven't even seen any medium anti-tank. I've only been seeing RPG 26s, and no, I haven't seen an M72 yet. But it's definitely an interesting mix. So this is one of the first AOs. We'll probably be in this camera to also watch the Zeus's bring up QRF. One of my favorite areas, though, right now is this, the enemy brief, quote-unquote. Now, one thing I am a little worried about, though, is if this guy was put in the animation from Eden, he might glitch out. But he is clearly in charge because he has a freaking suppressed M4 all tricked out on him. But this is a nice way to see all of the various guns. So a lot of AKMs here. PKM, RPD. So a lot less variation on this group specifically. There's also this guy that I don't know why, he's just an infinite loop of taking something from that box. What it is, I don't know. And we got a few other guys. These are more custom kits because they have the US gear on them. And then another noteworthy thing is if you go all the way up here, it looks like the Zeuses are going to be using this as a vehicle template to provide the hostile faction with. Now, I'm a little concerned about the tank, but everything else in here is pretty good. I think they're going to use that to kind of fortify this area and then maybe send in some hostile Vics, but I'll be curious to see how they work that. Otherwise, if we were to look at these remaining AOs with the thermal camera, this town I went through it doesn't have anything yet, so they're going to garrison stuff as the players pass through everything. Here we've got a few 3-man patrols ready to go. Oh, hold up. Yeah, here's another one, actually, and this one I missed. So I think that's just prep for, they're going to turn this into a counterattack of some sort, so that'll be interesting. We got some more guys right here. They're all hidden away. Though there's a few spots where you can actually see them as you come by, and I would assume there's some sort of explosive placed right here. But I do like the ambience that has been made for this type of scenario, so we'll just have to see how that goes. But I've been up and down these vehicles. I feel like there would be an explosive trap there, I just can't seem to find it. So it might be on the side of the bridge, might be under it, but, well, under it wouldn't make much sense because the explosion, the blast of the explosion wouldn't hit anyone, but hey, maybe just for effect. Some communities are really heavy on that too, which is perfectly fine. And then in here, I thought there was a small patrol, but I might have been wrong. I think the Zeus is going to just be adding stuff in as the operation actually begins, which is a really, really good idea to work with here. But I know for a fact that there's an enemy group here, there. There's also a small thing right here at the corner. They got a little mobile radio thing right here, and then deeper in the forest there's another few guys that are just chilling. Oh, I didn't notice this. Yeah, so a little bit of an open field lockdown here, but that should be nice. Yeah, again, like, I was skeptical about the plot, but again, that's before I read what happened at the Kundos airport, and I'm like, oh, okay, so the US just does this. Cool. I'm not surprised. There's our tax dollars at work. They go to the enemy. whatever. It's given me some good inspiration for the next MCO, and I'm thinking for Sunday, instead of a SCP op, I'm going to do a test op for the MCO concept. So we'll see how that goes. I have told him, though, my hard cutoff is around 3:45, which is in about 3 hours. Little over. Just because I have some other plans for today. Why will Dante be sad? Donations, right?
No, to bude větší průser.
People taking a thing from a box forever. Great representation of players, yeah, right? Some of my communities like to, well, not my, but the communities I work with like to take forever playing Barbie. I'm just used to it at this point. He wants the SCP op? I mean, it would be a private op for only vets. I don't know why he would want it, unless he wants to watch, but it's take too long to prep. Czech. See, I thought it was French too in an OFCRA op, and I was like, wait a minute. But no, it was Czech. That confused the hell out of me. The New Vegas RP op will be in October. I've already made plans for the next one. It's just I'm giving it some time. Yeah, no, everyone in here is Czech Republic. It's across, I think, 2 communities, he told me. Yeah, 2 communities and some fill-ins. Oh, shut up, Zam. Yeah, right, he's gonna go for that again. Also, it's Ilbanek, right? I keep calling you Ibnek when we do FNF, and I'm so sorry about that. Just there's so many silly things going on at once that I just completely lose track of everything. Yep, first one's correct. Oh, no, not with the fucking Czech buns. So in terms of assets, they're going to mainly be using the Pandor IFV. Though it's also technically an APC, but so would a Bradley be. So I just, on that principle, anything with an autocannon. Actually, no. My rule generally is anything with wheels is an APC. Anything on tracks with an autocannon's an IFV. That's my line. But then you have this, which it's, you know, goes into both of my logics, and they're interchangeable at that point. It's an infantry fighting vehicle APC. Well, no. Let me say the full thing out. Infantry fighting vehicle armored personnel carrier. It's just all blobbed into one. Hi, Boo. I think that's an AI jet. I think it's starting. I guess they called the Americans for some air support. Hey, Boo. What'd you say? No? Oh. Is that in Rampant Fan, people? Alright, I'll take a look at it after the stream, okay? Thanks, Boo. I am glad to be the inspiration for some people's using, though. That's nice. Hey, OSH, thanks for the 9-month resub, though. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this little stream.
Rojan 4. Argon.
See how this goes. What button do you press for English, Zam? This is LCPL Liru. I barely even speak English. Let's be awesome. Wait, why did I say awesome? I meant honest. Yep, see, there. Case in point. There is no English here. It's just my stupid little brain trying to communicate to all of you. Don't get me wrong, let's all be awesome too, but let's be honest with our awesomeness. Let's go with that. What button is it for comprehensible? There you go. Now we're going. No, I'm not enabling bro speak for this devour. Yes, because that's what the 30 people that are gonna watch this video go back and watch this video back want to see, right? They want to see me just going like, bro, look, the APC just bro that Brola band, bro. No, we're not doing that. These little bros from Broaklovakia. Hi, boo. Did I what? I didn't diss. What? We weren't. Oh, fucking yeah. So, Bloodwin and I, we watch American Horror Story. We love it, and there's a new season out where it's just like mini stories that only last 1 or 2 episodes, and one of them took a bunch of obnoxious YouTubers and had them all murdered by machete, dressed as Santa Claus, and it was so fucking cringy and so fucking satisfying, and I hope I never become one of those. Yeah. It was because of them! I don't want to get murdered by machete Santa Claus! My fucking god. Why, boo?
Já to prcám, vole, prostě se všichni dáme na interkom.
He knows if you so be good, because he's gonna machete your face.
Help. Yes, I did like your Christmas song, Boo. Thank you for coming by. Oh, man. Hey, Lance Corporal Liru here, and today we're gonna look at some IFE. Shut up, Shinkilla. So I also saw they had some pilot slots. I'll be curious to see what aircraft they take. I don't think they're gonna take a plane per se, but if they do, they might need to make a little bit of room on the runway. We'll see. I think that's actually retextured the AAF jet. I forgot the name of it though, because I don't use it.
Panduru. Dave, vylez, ven, kurva.
Chceš po mně?
Já tě neslyším. Slyšel jsi mě na vysílači?
No slyšel, já nevím, jestli jsem mluvil na tu dobrou moment, jestli to měl pořádek.
No, já jsem
Oh, great. Bloodwing's now singing Christmas music.
Jsi mluvil na pravý ucho? Znamená, že jsi mluvil na 20.
What would happen if we turned subtitles on? Does Twitch have an ability for subtitles? Go for it. Tell me what happens, because I don't have the ability to do that. What? Yeah? Have you read? Is Bloodwing telling me it's cursed? Like, I'll get killed by machete cursed, or? Meme Lord 2000 cursed, okay. Well, I am a partner, so if that's the requirement, then hopefully it's a thing, but Bloodwing says it's cursed, so. Auto subtitles? Well, yeah, I mean, that's just a bot trying to figure out what I'm saying. Uh-huh. Well, I mean, imagine taking someone that doesn't know how to speak proper English and making subtitles for him. I mean, that seems about right, doesn't it? Oh.
The house?
Thank you, Boo. Yeah, Ilbanek, no, it's because Bloodwing's taking me on vacation from Monday to Saturday. So I'll hopefully be back at by Saturday at 5 to stream something, but we'll see how things go. I'm a little concerned that people haven't moved out yet. No, not to Greece, to Myrtle Beach.
hlavně on už tady měl být.
Já jsem jeho velitel. No tak jo.
Moment, on mi psal teďka.
No tak napsal.
Psal mi, že je na cestě teďka.
A od...
We got a half-deaf girl in our weather class. What the hell is weather class, Sam? What? Like a science class? What? Why specifically weather class? What does that even mean? Oh, I have a feeling we're gonna enter lockdown again, like my area soon, but shrug. A class all about weather and climate? Just nah, Zam, I mean, I don't have to read it. It's okay. Weather class got me good. When are we playing golf with your friends again? That's a Bloodwing question. I don't know, when she feels like it. Next OFCRA is like Mad Max. What, the one next week that I'm missing? Aw. Dang. I don't know, I appreciated the last mission. I just felt the balance was a bit scuffed. The World War II nuke one. There were a few things that needed to be changed in my opinion, but yeah, it was nice. Don't stream or curse the beach? Yeah, right? I still can't believe in, what was it, round 1 EU? I let Dream pick a random guy to say he would do well. He picks Olaf, and then Olaf pulls an amazing trick play of getting behind Lolo, drawing his handgun, and then Lolo hears the weapon switch, spins around and double taps Olaf point blank, and I'm just laughing my ass off. He picked literally the opposite of who would do a trick play, because Olaf got trick played because he got greedy with wanting to execute with his handgun. If he just used his rifle, it would have been fine. Round 1 EU, I've got the highlight, though it's not going to be out for a while. I actually spent last night front logging everything on that channel for 2 weeks, because you have next week, which I won't be here, but then the following week where I don't have any content for because I'm not covering OFCRA or FNF. So I have to front log all the way up to Friday. That way I can take OFCRA and post it Saturday in the next batch of FNF. But I had so many highlights to keep the content going that all of the highlights I've harvested from the latest batch of FNF we're not going to see till the the following week that I get back. Because how I do stuff on that channel is we post a highlight and then an actual operation. If I run out of actual operations, I just post a second highlight. But there have been, over the past month, so many random dumb things that happen that I have a really big surplus of it. So now I'm going to be able to get through that and catch up a little bit, but at the same time, some stuff's still going to be a little behind. What's good, though, is in order to get that channel to go a little viral, usually want to have a few days where you just post nothing but highlights, because that's what people seem to like, so that'll help. And Bloodwing just dancing next to me. She's being a little derp. Oh my freaking god. We're just going to wait for these guys to deploy. I bet they pushed it up by 30 minutes, and they'll deploy in around 8. And as they go into the AOs, I'll look at what they're going to be fighting, and then we can watch their tactics. She is my GF, and I do support her. I send her funny memes that she calls cringe, and she questions my life choices. No, you called my memes cringe. It literally ruined my week. Yeah? Okay. Yeah?
Fine glass of
Okay.
Do you drink it like once a month, every once in a while, or every day?
Once in a while.
Okay. So a good meme.
Okay?
Would you enjoy it every day, or just every once in a while?
Well, I'm the type of content creator that posts stuff every day to keep relevant.
Yes, but that's not the same as memes.
How?
You would send me constantly
Yes. So I don't send you memes anymore. I send you once in a while.
Which I appreciate. And
Okay.
that's what I want. I just want a meme every once in a while because then it makes the
Let's give him a warm welcome, shall
So you're not a memer, you're just meme curious.
See, I'm still trying to identify that about myself. I'm not entirely sure. I guess I'm meme curious, but I mean, like meme sexual just seems like a strong phrase, you know? But the meme community wouldn't really like it if I said I was meme curious, because I'd feel like I'd be ostracized, you know? So...
I love you. I love you so much. Oh. That was good. That was pretty fucking good. No. There we go. After this stream, we're gonna go to an escape room. Yeah, we went to one. We did the hardest one at a place. We got stuck on the last clue. And it was funny. She was mad.
I also broke something really actually.
Yeah, she kind of ripped a panel off a wall.
I
It was...
did. No, so like I was going to like mess with the thing and it just slowly
And it just
started
got
moving.
ripped off
It
because
had,
it was nailed in.
Yeah, so like the latch part, right? Like there was a lock on it, so you couldn't open it without like the getting the lock. Well, as I'm messing with this lock, the latch portion that's like drilled to the wall just slowly starts coming out and opening up, and I'm just sitting there like, oh.
It's pretty funny.
Meme sexual should totally be.
Oh my god. I'll see what I can do, boo. Alright, so they're gonna take a Venom gunship to M151 pods, I believe. They're rocket pods. And 2 side 134s with holographics. And then a scouting camera, but it looks like they're getting in the back. So we might have some sort of air assault element. The meme queen. Aww. She's only meme curious, according to her. But it looks like they're starting to mount up and getting ready to deploy, so we'll watch that go through. So, Spiky, would actually not be too hard to make an escape room in Arma 3. What you would have to do is basically take a room, set a bunch of objects to interact with, and they could give you like random clues if you inspect them and whatnot, but you'd also have to do that with some random ones for red herrings. And then there's plenty of scripts for like implementing key locks and stuff of various types that are already out there that people have made for their own missions. And you could just code like a 3-room escape room. It would probably take you like a week of dedicated work because that's a lot of coding, but it would be possible. Yeah, no, it's possible. I'm trying to think. So what you would probably do is, on top of everything I said, for some of the key locks, you would add triggers to them, obviously, to make new items interactable, or stuff spawn in with inventories so you can, like, grab stuff from them. And then, you know, if you could write other scripts. Actually, I don't know if a script exists to detect a certain item in a container that would then do something. I would imagine there would be, though. But that would just be a lot of SQF writing. And then the end trigger would be when you unlock the escape room itself and leave, then it auto-completes, you know? So that would just be a simple trigger of, you know, if present, then play mission end. But yeah, no, perfectly doable. You just have to have the know-how. I will admit, I think I actually have the know-how. It's just I would be really slow, but I know where to get all of that information. You just have to Google on forums and find stuff. If you look up like Arma 3 key locks and stuff, or number locks, you'd be able to find people's scripts. I think the craziest thing about it, though, is you could do that all in vanilla. You could do it purely in vanilla. And then if they fail the escape room, then you have like a CSAT guy spawn in that with a Viper uniform and just murder them or something, you know? Make it Arma themed, though. Say you're a NATO prisoner of war and you're trying to escape. And while you're in there, you're trying to find like an exit strategy. And there might be, you know, multiple ways to get an exit strategy. But you gotta get gear, you gotta contact a pilot, and that's all you do in the escape room so that when you leave, it all just auto-completes, you know? That's the end trigger. That would be really, really cool. But yeah, I'm too stubborn to do that. I'm not patient enough to code something like that, unfortunately. Otherwise, missions beginning, we got 3 Pandors leaving the AO, and we have a pilot and a single rifleman back at base, probably to take the Venom gunship for air support. So now we're going to see a drive here. I think they're going to then dismount here. Alpha's going to move out here. We're not sure what the green arrow implies, but we'll see what gets updated as they move it. Misfire there. Zam, I fucking hate you for saying that. A TM themed escape room where if you don't escape, a T90 comes in and murks you. Yeah. You know my fucking hatred for that, man. Good God. Alright, so I'm going to just watch the convoy come in case there's some sort of surprise. Laughs in cup armor, yeah, right? Ay, ay, ay. Oh shit, it lets me see the acre inventory. That's weird. Because they are running acre for this one. So we'll watch the lead Vic. Looks like they put some civilian stuff for showpieces on the way. That's nice. Yeah, so I can cycle through the different vehicles here with the arrow keys. Would you make a horror escape room? I mean, that would also be cool. But again, guys, you have to understand this. I am very, very peculiar with my time. Because my time is literally money at this rate. Because it's tied to all of this. So I have to make sure I'm keeping that going, you know? If I do something that isn't for any monetary gain, then it has to be, you know, for my own enjoyment. Like this, for example. This is purely for my own enjoyment. Because again, it's always fun to watch a community operate to see what you can learn and take from it to then adapt to your own policies for. Now, I am going to be looking on thermals here just at the towns they're passing because I want to see if there's going to be any side ambushes. I doubt it. For milsim groups, usually things are really cut and dry. Which is why we have these zones here to illustrate enemy forces. And then once in a blue moon, you'll actually have a change to the plan. That's how the 506 generally does it, which I find pretty interesting. So that way it always keeps you on your toes of, okay, it's probably going to go fine, but what if this is the 1 in 10 where we get ambushed along the way, you know? Still keeps you going. I don't think Stone's gonna be here anytime soon, if ever. Him and I had a pretty nasty falling out. Which is unfortunate. He's a great guy. I just got caught up with a bunch of stuff and didn't DM him about something. Yeah. To clarify, Stone is different from Stone Willow Tree, but that's why we haven't seen Stone around in a few months. And he was pretty cool, man. Like, what he did for a living was super cool. CWC checked in during FNF. I haven't seen him in forever. That was pretty nice. He's a good guy, too. Ibanek, I personally prefer spectating PvP. Just because these days it's a little hard for me to find something in Zeus that, you know, surprises me, but I always look because I like it when I'm pleasantly surprised in that category. And it's through this where I learn better things as a Zeus. So I prefer spectating PvP. I absolutely hate playing PvP, though. I will always prefer to play PvE. Just because my first few Arma 3 PvP experiences were eh. Now, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy... Oh, look, they're actually having the tractor pull over. I do enjoy... What's that flashing on it? It's just, that's the gas coming out of it, making a texture glitch on the corner. That's pretty funny. I do enjoy going on public servers. Not King of the Hill, because King of the Hill can be a little cancerous, but public servers that are, you know, vanilla, like the Control Odessa, and then just using third person and having like an hour where I turn my brain off and just murk a bunch of people. But like FNF, Coalition, Severe's Arma Finland stuff, AFI, that's it. Or even what we do in TSB, it just gets stressful. Because usually what happens is people run off and start doing their own thing. And I mean, that's what happened when I commanded an FNF round against Barb. Like, I told people what to do, and they just kind of... They followed it, but they didn't execute it how I wanted it to happen, and things just completely fell apart. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing at this point. Because I absolutely hate when I sit down, and I feel like I wasted my time. And more often than not, for PvP stuff, I feel like I wasted my time. The one exception I had was Coalition 9. No, it was 8. Yeah, I skipped 9. Coalition 8, where I was under Severe and we were doing the US versus Russian stuff, because I knew it was probably going to get scuffed, and then the balance of assets was a little scuffed in itself. But, I mean, for that last hour, I was literally just sneaking behind people and executing like 5 or 6 dudes. And then stealing weapons and playing to weapon PID. Alright, so we have some US forces here. So I think there's going to be a roleplay instance here.
Man. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. We are here on time, so I think we will.
So this is the US coming around here.
We can rush
as the Czechs do this side stuff.
Just say go.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Should I command my men now?
Give me a second.
Yeah, Sparky, I'll be interested in that. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a difference between pure PvP and roleplay PvP. I absolutely love roleplay PvP. Like, Checkpoint RP would fall under that category. Anything Ravage related, I love. Anything Fallout, I love. But, you know, just pure PvP doesn't really suit my fancy to play. But again, love to spectate it. How you doing? What's that? Oh, God, you're joining the Czech puns. No. No, I didn't even read it. Oh, you... Dang. It would be on Halloween at the usual time. Is Halloween on a Sunday? Oh, shit. I'm gonna have to talk with Bloodwing then, because I know she's probably gonna want to go out, so maybe I run one operation. This also means, though, that... Oh, God. Let me check Google Calendar real quick, just to make sure that that doesn't follow on an MCO weekend. Because if it does, that's gonna be... I'm gonna have to fix that immediately. So the next one's on the 29th. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it falls on the week before. Good. Because I would get that moved ASAP. What's that? I'm in the Spectator interface. I don't get access to radio. I can only hear them locally. But it looks like they've told the Americans to start their attack into the town, and the Czechs are going to break off and hit that area. So once they deploy, let's actually go look back at that area, see if there's anything that's been added. So it looks more or less the same. I'd imagine maybe a squad being spawned in as QRF, but then again, based on the fact that the section's right here, I doubt it. Next area still doesn't have anything new. We still have that briefing area over there, and then some units back here, and a little bit of an ambush posture. So yeah, nothing too wrong there. The only threat I really see to the players here is the RPG-26, which, granted, with it being the first engagement, you generally don't want to have a lot of heavy-hitting units on the front line, unless you want it to be one of those ops. But those ops, quote-unquote, you don't want to do all the time, because then your players are just going to not enjoy the ops, per se. And to define what those ops are, it's the op where you just literally dick the player base. Like, you give them a really difficult opening engagement, and more often than not, they're going to buckle under the pressure of it. But I would say, like, once every month or 2 months is a good time to do one of those ops. But, yeah, opening engagement should be fine. I think they're going to make it harder as they come in along here. Yeah, so the Zeus has the U.S. forces going in. They're spawning some contact to make some ambient gunfire. Yeah, so they had that. Now, generally, what I've found is better to do is if you're having some ambience in the distance, usually there's some sound files you can take to make that ambient gunfire, but it's actually really quiet, ironically. So it's better, in my opinion, to either, if you're running low on server resources, give a whatchamacallit, do a suppress fire command, but that means you have to micro them a little harder. So the other ways you could do it is you can either set a squad to invincible and have the, units just duke it out, because that'll create a bunch of ambient noise. Or if they have air assets and they could potentially see that happening, use invisible targets from CBA. The issue with those, though, is you have to have them pre-spawn in a corner somewhere, because if you don't, you spawn one in, you crash the server. So, things that you have to have pre-planned when you're making scenarios like that. But I think they're just letting that force go in, and then they're going to move over and assist. What's really cool, though, is...
6 now.
Been a bit Liru. Hope you having fun, and so is the player base. Keep up the good work.
Hey, Red Wagon, thank you for the 7-month resub, my man. I hope you keep enjoying the operations as well, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. This scenario is just going to turn into me commentating about, ways to do various different Zeus things, and I kind of like where that's going. But another scenario that's really rare, but also really cool to do once in a while, because again, it helps with the subversion of expectations, is take the entire plan that the players have done, say they're working with an allied element, but then say the allied element, put some explosions in the distance, say the allied element gets completely fucked, and now they have to become the QRF to help them. So everything they planned out is now done, and now they have to help with the main fight instead, as another unit is scrambled to deal with the side operation. You know what I mean? So then you can also have QRF come from that other zone, do the attack, since now only one force is going in, because you're trying to reinforce that main force that went in on the, what would be considered the main attack, because this is definitely the main attack with these two major cities compared to these small areas. And that is also a good way to subvert expectations. I remember, I want to say like year 3 of TSB in like 2019 and 2020, I would actually have a schedule. So like once 2 months went by, I would do this type of op. Once 1 month went by, I would do this type of op. And I would cycle things out to keep everything fresh. But now I don't really do that because I just have spent a year doing whatever I really wanted. Really just tackling the exotic concepts on my now like 183 page backlog. So they're going to go up and then take a right over here. What does concern me a little bit is that this AO is really, really open, but there isn't really a better way to assault this position, so they're probably just going to have the IFE portions of the APC, the autocannons cover the infantry. And I believe the helicopter's still at base because it's just dedicated for reinserts. I don't actually know what their medical is. Let's take a look at that real quick. They also have a lot of interesting mods down there, also using Acre, which is, I don't know, I'm more of a TFAR guy compared to an Acre guy, but with Acre, there's so many advanced things you can do with it, which makes me think Acre is best for PvP, and TFAR is good for PvE. That's my stance on the matter. Because for PvE, you just want to keep things simplistic. But if you want to do hardcore roleplay, by all means, go Acre. But most people are a lot more casual. Anyway, digression aside, where is medical? Alright, what do we got? Set server side. Ooh, splints heal, but you can't sprint if you have a fracture, and the fracture chance 65%. And I've seen them fighting dudes with AKMs, which are 7.62. That's brutal. Yeah, they are doing milsim settings 7.5. Oh. Fatal damage sources either. Oh, these are some pretty nasty medical settings. Oh. This means one dude could literally just murk an entire group. So now I understand why they have 3 autocannon APC, IFE APCs, but wow, 0.9 for the bleeding. I do appreciate that they at least turned it down a little bit, acknowledging that the default 1 ratio is cancerous. But that IV transfusion rate, oof, that's going to take a little while. Advanced bandages on too. Oh, and reopen. Yeah, no, this is some hardcore medical here. They're definitely going pedal to the metal on realistic medical. I like it. So, in my opinion, these are always really fun to spectate because you can literally have one guy completely fuck everything over. My opinion, I personally don't like to play with hardcore medical like this, but I love watching it because it forces the players to be super tactical and take things super slow, because if they don't, they're fucked. But this is as milsim as you can get, I would say. Ooh. So I do apologize if I scroll in and out and there's a bit of a stutter. That's just kind of Roche on its own. The map can get a little framey, which is why I tend not to use it. Yeah, so this is their dismount plan. So the 502nd, excuse me, is one community, the 43rd is another. So they're going to divide into 2 pincers here and just move up and attack this position. Now, I would imagine that the IFVs are going to murk this immediately. The gunner is turning right, which means he's grouped up with some of the infantry. If he wasn't grouped up, he would be just facing forward. So I don't know where he's grouped up with specifically. That also means that Vic is out of fuel. Or they just garrisoned the Vic. Or turned his pathing off to just disable his movement. I'd be a little worried about this guy, because when you give AI marksman rifle with it's not the rifle that does the accuracy bonus, it's the scope. The AI will perform more accurately with more powerful scopes. So if you put like a fucking LRPS on a submachine gun, that dude will start sniping motherfuckers. It's actually really funny. They're just checking out the local fauna. Sam, I swear, I'm gonna strangle you, man. Oh yeah, having a hardcore medical system definitely discourages lone wolfing. That's a guarantee. All right, so we got a wedge going and a partial wedge going. Oh, they've got full command crews and all the IFEs, and they got an extra one in here. Yeah, so one team. They got a Vic coming. Or are they just driving around in the back? I think they're just waiting on QRF, but... Does this mean we can actually listen in on the nets? I actually don't know. I've never used Acre on the Spectator interface. I'd imagine so.
Máme nějaký sázky, že dostaneme od Panduru?
Ne. Kejbak už to točtěm na ty stromy, jo?
I think these are potatoes. They look like, at least. And they got some trimmed wheat over here. Yeah, no, so I can actually click on them and listen to... Oh, so I can hear individuals' calls on the net. Neat. Never knew that. So here, I'll let you guys decide. Do you want to listen to the 43rd or the 502nd? Just type 43 or 502 if you want to listen to one group or the other. And yeah, they sound like AI because we fight AI that speak Czech all the time. All right, people saying 502. All right. So they have been the less tactical one compared to the guys that did the full-on wedge. Yeah, so these guys are all on block 3 with their short ranges. And then we had one guy with some 152s. These are, I think, meant to. They're on channel 1 because you can actually see what they're set to. So that'll let you listen to the squad net, actually a platoon level net. And then we got one guy back there, who I guess is either a late join or reinsert or who knows. So that would mean Spooky is the lead element, but that also is why he has the symbol over him.
Můžu dotaz, Spooky?
Neptej se, jestli můžeš dotaz, a ptej se rovnou.
You see on the top right.
Případně nás budeme dál postupovat výskokách. Příjem.
Cool.
Jo, hele, to zní jako plán, to můžeme udělat tak. Půjdete první, když tak.
4 zde 2, jenom na chvilku zastavu a děláme naslouchačku všem.
Fuck, how do I hide the compass? I forgot.
2, 4, rozumím.
Oh, I don't think FNF is ever going to switch to... Yeah, K doesn't work. It's a different key binding for the Zeus interface. So it looks like they're going to pull back and possibly get in the riverbed here. I can only imagine they notice this right here.
Jo, hele, teďka to tam...
4 zde 2, vyrážíme zase vpřed.
A pokračujeme dopředu. Vyrážíme dopředu.
4, tady Kuran 4, dej si pozor, na až 82 od nás se budova před váma v druhém patře objedou kontakt.
2, 4, rozumím, pokračujeme taky.
You know what one of my new goals is? It's to put some footage out there that some random news station mistakes as actual footage and put it in some news report. Because I think they did that to Operator Drewski, right? That was pretty funny.
Pavle, potvrdí, máš vizuál na toho nepřítele, kde přijímala?
Right, Obenek, see you in 2 weeks.
Ano, jich je tam víc, to
How you
moc
doing, Thomas?
nehroď. Horší jsou nějaký BFK nebo Hilux nebo tyhle věci.
Mně jde o to, že tenhle, nevím jak, já vidím jenom jeden jediný kontakt a tenhle s těma krásný vizuál na
They did one in
celou
Russia
tak,
too.
ve chvíli, kdy se otočí, tak já
It was Turkey that did the one with Operator Drewski, if I remember correctly. And then Russia also did one.
Tohle vzala s tím děláme víc.
Bude flákanec, macha.
They took some of his footage and a news station, I think Turkey, used it as like factual military stuff, which was pretty funny.
Zastavte se na moment.
They also used footage from a mobile game and from COD. Yeah, exactly.
Natřel. Nebíhají doprava do toho baráčku s tou červenou střechou.
Pokračujeme přískokama, modrá, vyražte.
Freaking mini-me's, man. So you're hearing the dudes with the marksman rifle start to open up.
Modrá kryje, červená můžete.
Červená jde.
Oh, is he firing with a G3 with bolts action? Jesus.
Tady 4 pokračujeme přískok.
I don't know if that's an R-seed guy or an AI.
Červená kraje, můžete jít, modrá.
The IFVs are all the way back there. That's about a kilometer to a kilometer and a, a kilometer and a half engagement range. Which, granted, yeah, you can range the Pandora up that far. They've got 3 guys pushing us, 3 guys overwatch. Yeah, this guy is gonna start firing at him. You good, dude? He keeps hitting the fucking dirt. Bro, you're horribly overrange. Bro!
Nemůžu tě koordinovat individuálně. Nějak to poraď, okay? Beru to na vědomí.
Oh, he's trying! Do it again.
Dobrý, červená kraje,
I believe in you. There goes the truck. So I don't think anyone's noticed that far left side. But these guys are starting to move into the engagement range of that guy. He can't be out of ammo. The only reason I think he'd stop shooting is because he ran out of ammo. Oh, he totally ran out of ammo. That's funny. So we got another guy right here who's still gun lowered. I'm not sure if he's obstructed by the bush.
Rozumím, na chvilku stojíme, červená ještě, než nás doběhne Patrix. Modrá, pak to stáčejte víc na southeast.
Oh, no, he's active again. I'd be willing to bet you $5 he's RC right now. Because the AI would not have stood up.
Dobrý, červená jde.
Mark 11 firing back. Now you got the AK firing, you can actually see him right there.
Normálně červená, stojíme, co tam vymýšlíte vzadu?
Snažil se on níst. Přibližuju se k nám azimut 59 northeast.
So we got Mr. Lee Enfield in a tree over here. Marksman's dead. AKM, the guy just died.
No si ho není úplně nejchytřejší, protože nemůžeš střílet ty ani on.
Ah, here we go. Some QRF coming in.
asi pokračujeme spolu všichni dopředu.
2 Vicks full.
Vyráží červená.
Oh, one is an M2. All right.
Potvrzuju. Už tam budem skoro.
If that M2 gets in a good position, it could probably slaughter 1 or 2 of these guys. The turret AI for vehicles and static guns can be quite brutal. Where the heck are they going? They're probably deploying right here so the IFV can see them. The reason he shot was that was an RC, so he's now spraying the infantry. But in mil sims, they generally don't try to kill people. I love that one, where they glitch out while they're jumping out, and they just stand like that. But yeah, when you have a hardcore medical system, usually you don't have the Zeus's RC to shoot people, because that, even 1 bullet wound can slow the entire push down.
Pokračujeme dopředu.
They're now trying to smoke to advance. We still have a few stragglers running around over here. So I think there's 2 Zeuses. And I think they've set themselves to invisible, so I can't see them. But there were 2. It was Nomas and another guy. Oh, 1 dude just got knocked out. Someone on the left side now shooting.
Hunter down. Na azimutu 40 Ronan klečí a nedostřelím místo smoky.
This is a really tough advanced sector.
40 u toho stromu. Počkej, já to tam pokropím gulometom. Ivo, dostal to? Jo, Hunter je ošetřený, můžeme pokračovat.
Dobrý, potvrduju, pokračujeme dopředu na east, přijme east. A chůzí jdem. Jak moc jste na tom špatně, jestli tref, podle? No, jako jsme docela raněný, no.
The other groups to their right to support.
Kontakt. Jaký KIA? Na eastu, za polotem. Negativní.
Gee, Zam, I can't get it out of my head because, yeah, they do sound like AI.
Přímo za tím plotem.
Sound like the AI we normally fight. Yeah, so this building's fully loaded. Is that a handgun? Yeah. PO7. Falcon is PvE. I thought it was PvP too, but I misread it. So another Vic came up as QRF. Oh. Yeah, so they're trying to harass the IFVs. They got one of the drivers turned out so we can watch. I'd imagine it would be first person locked.
Dobrý, od Pandoru info, že na levý části u toho červeného baráku je hodně kontaktů. Pokračuj.
Může tam to někdo naměřit, hodíme tam granáty.
Vlastně to může být tak 70 metrů.
He's reloading it. We still have dead standing, man.
Modrá vstupuje
Other
doprava
group's
už.
moving in. Someone got shot.
Jo, potvrzuju.
Yeah, rock pop with the helix is a real thing. It's rare, but pretty cool.
Jsme ve městě, budeme to tady čistit všem.
So one of them got dropped. You still have Mini-Me Man over here.
2 tady 4 chystáme se k centru.
Scoped guy with the Lee Enfield still here.
Tam asi za 20 sekund.
Guys getting caught in the open.
My jsme na pravém okraji kruhu všem.
It's because it's Arma 3 Acre Falcon. So is he trying to pick off the driver that's turned out on the Pandor? Uh-oh.
Kontaktu cihlový. Běží doprava.
That was a direct hit.
Nevidím, nemám vysol, zaběhl jsem tu. No, už mám.
My jsem háží červené světlice, je to někdo z nás?
Opakujte.
Někdo mi sem hodil pod nohy červenou
There's a few
světlici,
guys in
můžete
here.
něco značit.
Oh, now I think they noticed. Because it pulled out from its hidden position. And they're carrying up a guy. Alright, so we still have a garrison here, there. He's dead. Mini-Me guy's still alive. I'm not sure if there's anything else.
Stávám to.
Jackal got shot to shit again. That Humvee just exploded.
Nemám ani jednu ruku.
Ooh, jeez. That was a headshot.
Medic.
Mini-Me guy is dead. He got picked off from that little window.
Tady dopředu, pojď.
Now you got the other group coming in.
Už jdu.
So one of them's doing the crippled walk.
Jo, mám tady okno, mám jít zleva do kontrolu.
Když pak došli potom, ale to zatím jo, jste mi řekni jméno aspoň.
Prosím tě.
I mean, I guess the PvP aspect is when the Zeus RCs, but he's not trying to kill him, so.
Oh.
Whew. Ah, so this group's being engaged. Ouch.
Oprota 4 si trap. Prosím tě, hele, healujem se tady a furt postupujeme dopředu.
Cibulko? Ano?
Yeah. Oh,
Tam už budou naši, bacha.
That man dead.
Pravý části jsou naši.
Ještě zkontroluji ještě krevní tlak, jo?
Jackal down.
Super.
Dobré.
Ty volnej klehnu.
That was Jackal that died.
Jackal, jo, kryjte mě. Hodíte mi smoke? Hodíte mi smoke?
No pojď.
I think they could have gotten a little closer with their, That's an MG42.
Tam je kulomet, chlapci.
Are there two of them running around up there? Yeah, no, there's two Zeuses. Wait, no, that guy's just running around like a normal AI. He's moving around because he was tied to this guy's garrison. He must have been the squad leader after the other guys died, and it auto-generated to him. So now the other AI are running around. Which means they do garrisons via syncing them to the one module. Oh, buddy, you shouldn't reload in the open like that.
Ale já za chvilku padnu, jo?
Yeah, the AA site.
Jo, super. Jak? Já jenom hodím jenom defibrilátor volnekovi a jdu na to druhýho tady, v tom baráčku možná.
I just heard a defib go off, so we got a K-18 medical too. So they have airway management and shit. They're grenading him.
Máme tady jednoho omráčenýho zatím.
Oh, he's dead. He's in the unconscious knockout position. But yeah, no, I think the best way that they could have assaulted this position was dismount one group, pop UGLs over where they sighted enemy forces, and then had the IFEs just annihilate where the smoke was to prevent anything from pushing through the smoke to engage, and then dismount right in front of the smoke, and then pull the IFEs back out of harm's way. Like, that would have been the perfect way to do it. Also, it's a badass way to do it.
Vedení modrý přebírá pro tentokrát i volnek na moment.
But the risk with that is, you know, what if something comes through the smoke and boops your Vic with AT? That's why that one IFE with the team that's popping the smokes on top of the enemy's positions to obscure their lines also needs to be suppressing the shit out of that smoke to stop anyone from crossing it.
Zde dva máme zatím jenom lehce zraněný, ošetřujeme.
Yeah, so Jackal's back there.
Tady 4 potvrzuju, jsme na tom hodně podobně.
Oh, cool, so when they die, it auto-checks them off.
Tady a budeme postupovat dál.
And someone else is medicing. He just got shot. Ah, yeah, you gotta clear the area before you do that. Because if you just go up and start applying medical, then you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. I just saw the muzzle flashes from over here. Ah, there he is. Oh, shut up, Sam. See you later, Sunday.
Ve jménu věčného Dole.
Vydám.
Si ho neviděl prichádzať? V dome je ďalší. V dome v okne sa aj prehnal ďalší.
No, trok.
So there's been 2 KIA so far. But I think that is going to be it for this first attack. So now they're going to lick their wounds and then push on to the next area. Yeah, so they're just announcing that I think that was the second KIA guy. So we still have, there's a few guys crouched here. 2 guys in the forest, and this is still happening, this quote-unquote brief, but everyone's looking over to the gunfire. And he's still in his animation, that's funny. Is he still infinitely grabbing? Yes, he is. not a bad opening engagement on the Zeus side. RCs were a little heavy, but I get it to, you know, keep the AI dynamic. It's just in these situations, you generally don't want to shoot players unless they absolutely deserve it. But in the times where I think that one happened, that was right, because you don't want to start medicing a guy, and if you can't carry or drag him, then you know he's dead. Because I'm not sure there's a way to actually program that to be a thing. IFVs were used well to cover. There could have been a better insert way, but the one they did was alright. This isn't one life, no. But it takes them a while to reinsert in. So they have to take a heli.
Prosím tě, hele, zasekli jsme se tady, i dvojka se tady teďka zasekla, jsme tak nějak uprostřed té červené zóny, po nás nic nestřílí momentálně.
Now, if you really wanted to sweeten the deal, once in a while, you could have an whatchamacallit, a set to invincible squad of Americans fight any squad of guys over here, since air is not being used to overwatch anything, to at least have that audio in the background to remind everyone that this is like a joint effect operation. But I do like how the Zeus is kind of keeping it to, you know, that area that he's marked. I think one decent surprise across this territory where they find units that they don't expect would be a good call, but because this is supposed to be like a counter-insurgency style operation, so, you know, insurgents, they don't really stick to a military plan. They're able to adapt and throw things around. I don't know, McQuag. I'm not a big fan of environmental audio because usually that goes under the music tab, and a lot of people have their music tabs turned off, especially if they stream, because they don't want to stream any copyrighted music, so I don't really think there needs to be any environmental audio per se. It makes sense that there's no civs here, though, because the insurgents came, and they're all just either, like, hiding or they fled. Put in some audio of a guy making gun sounds. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant, Sam. Goober. Now, what the IFVs should actually be doing at this point is, while the infantry are clearing in here, there's no reason for the IFVs to still be at this angle, and especially since they have three, they should have one going around one way, one going around the other, and they should be checking the outskirts of the town and also looking at Overwatch. So if anything, two should be going around this flank, and then maybe one around that way. But if they want to be really defensive about it, they could have all three going, because now they're actually going to have them enter the town. And this is where they are the most vulnerable. If anything, since that's the next area you want to go, you want to have an IFV over here to overwatch that next area to make sure there's no QRF coming from it, especially if that's the marked area, you know? That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Because especially, I mean, if you're going in here alone, just because they have to have a lot of trust on that intel then, because this is still enemy-held town. Having an IFV go off on its own like this when you've found dudes with M136s and RPG-26s is a very risky idea. But, you know, some groups are just used to having everything marked out for them in the mission brief, which is perfectly fine. It's how they want to play. But most Zeuses I know would have something extra in here. But again, to each their own, you know? So if there's open trust that there's not going to be anything here, then by all means, bring the IFVs in. I still think one overwatching the next enemy area would be a good call, but I think they're just folding them in to possibly get ready to remount everyone. Honestly, like, in my mindset, I think they aren't going to remount. They're going to walk this, but if I was in charge of this one, I would remount, and I would just have one IFV on Overwatch, and I would, again, smoke that tree line, send the IFVs in, deploy them at the end of the tree line, and then, again, pull them back, and then have them all Overwatch. You'd have one IAV covering the left, one on the right, and then one on the dead center. Really, though, what I would be worried about is that right side tree line. Even though it's not technically in the AO, you never know, because you're doing an insurgency-style operation. Alright, Devour. Not sure if I'll play around with it till I get back, and then even then we'll see. Maybe I'll do something small scale on Sunday with it for an SCP op, just to test it. We'll see. You're gonna have to list out what's the compatibilities are for it, though. I think the helicopter double-backed and picked up the second reinsert, because I haven't seen... Yeah, Jackal's still in there. Alright, so now I'm gonna follow the comms of the other group. So that would be these guys. This is going to be the 43rd. Just because I want to keep it even. Oh, it actually tells you how many AI each one has killed. That's nice. That's the marksman that died. Nice. So what this is stacking up to be is just a simple, you know, sweep the area, sweep the area, sweep the area. There's nothing wrong with that.
Jo, pojď k nám a vem od Dandyho vemu kameru a případně si doplním zásobníky a tak dále.
The standard style operation from the three.
Další postup, až se velitelský pandur.
Ale kameru mu když tak vem z inventáře.
Komunikovat.
Tablet mu mám vzít taky?
Nebylo ti teďka rozumět?
Tablet mu mám vzít taky?
Jo, vem ho do batěhu k sobě.
Prosím tě, teď na nás kouká někdo od vás. Přímo jsme u té červené budovy.
Right, Driver, thank you.
Na nord.
So now they're sending that one IFE to Overwatch. All right. To at least get some scouting, they're getting some different OPs out, but it's just the IFEs going, they're not actually taking the infantry yet.
Kde vás najdu? Ty plechový běž na druhou stranu.
Na
západ.
Tyrone je jinak zhruba 10 enemáků mrtvejch, jo, to jsme spočítali.
Rozumím.
I'm gonna make a poor analogy. This sounds like the comms from one of those like live leak military videos you would watch about what's going on in like Russia or something.
Petilko, teď běžíš na druhou stranu.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Běžím na vést, říkal Charlie. Vraťte tam, kde jste byl.
Jsme jakože skoro na eastu v centru prostě. Je tam na eastu zakroužkovaná, jo. Vrať se k Dandyho mrtvole, já tam po tebe někoho pošlu.
Rozumím. Doleva běž. No a přímo před tebou jsme.
That's probably what YouTube thought when they blacklisted me.
Já myslím, že to je ten Luboš s tím, s Davidem.
My jsme tady všichni.
Celý družstvo je tady, že? Jo, takhle. Já myslím, že jste někde vepředu na jistu. Tam jenom pandur.
I think they're slowing the helicopter down to coordinate an LZ for the reinserts.
Jako mám vám vzkázat, že se máte dostavit k asi druhému roji, nejsem si jistý přesně ke komu, jestli potřebujete doktora, tak se tam máte prostě dostavit.
Jo, rozumím.
What I'm curious about is, have they set up anything additional around here? And it looks like the answer is no. So I think they're just waiting on the players to move up. That's one of the things that, for milsim, I'm always a little skeptical about. No, that's not the right word to use. I'm a little... I actually don't know what the right word to use in that situation is, because things get really slow when you have an advanced medical setup. And then milsims, some of the traps that they fall in is they like to overplan every little detail. And it's not always needed, because a lot of what happens is your plan just falls apart and you have to act on instinct. And if your plan's going well, then usually there's something bad that's going to happen. Or this might just be a community op where everything's going to be by the book, and that's okay too. It's all about however your player base wants to play.
Jo, tady do jsme vodě CCB. Mohl být ta 2 tady 4, Citrep, jak jste na tom teďka, co děláte? Hele, jsme na bodě CCP, měli jsme sem dorazit, ale jakoby doktora nepotřebujeme příjem.
Oh, that's new.
Jo,
Might be from something else.
My dáváme nějaký paky tady v Panduru, tak pokud máte nějaký jako důležitý zlomeniny nebo tak když tak asi...
So I'm trying to figure out
tady jsem na velitelský Pandur.
Where that audio is from. I think that's from T-FAR itself, actually.
Nepotřebujeme příjem. 2 tady 4, rozumím.
Righto, Zam. Thanks for dropping by. And thank you for limiting yourself to only a few Czech jokes today instead of spamming like last time. So it actually looks like they're going to do a full mount, but I assume they're waiting for their reinserts, but he's on a holding pattern right now. At this angle, he might actually be looking and getting recon data, but that's a pretty big range. Yeah, righto, Zam, get out of here. I'm just a little worried because they want to do, like, this is the first AO, and they've gone through about an hour and a half of the allocated time, so I only have an hour and a half remaining to watch the rest of this, so I might not be able to cover all of it. Hey, Platts, you still burning time on SWOTOR, or did you fix yourself? Well, that's good to hear. They got someone on the open back here for rear security. They're checking bodies. I gotta wonder here, what's the bottleneck? When we have downtimes like these, I always like to imagine, like, what is going on here? All right, they just sent an LZ. The vehicle's coming in now. Was it because they're using the helicopter to get recon first before they came in? Or was it command making a plan? Because I don't see any new lines there, and they've been accustomed to drawing those plans on the map. You tried to watch the Star Wars sequels? How did that go? Which one's the Forced Unleashed? Is that the second one? I could probably get through the first out of the 3 and only ask a few questions. Oh, what's that?
Davido. Nejde to něco u tebe? Potvrzení, máme tady M113.
Oh god. Oh god.
Jaký bílý vrtulník na... Jo, to je naše uháčko, jenom, jo.
Davido,
Ano,
potřebuješ ještě krev nebo něco, máš všechno?
všechno v pořádku.
Zajedané hlaste stav. Luboš a ty?
V pohodě, díky.
Okay. Ale někdy tě můžeš doplnit. Borci, když to takhle nablízko, nemluvte do vysílačky, já potřebuji mu komunikovat s Tyronem. Medický zásoby, tak si je rychle můžeš
Moment, řeším teďka tady tu M113.
Jasný. Rozumím. Já tam mám pandur, takže...
You know, I don't know the term for panic in the Czechoslovakian language, but I think I understood it.
Fajn, hej, měl jsem tady teďka chaos, najela do nás M113, zlikvidovaná, vrátím se na OP uniform.
Sparky, to my knowledge, Redux is the most FPS intensive one. 2035 should be fine. The good old smoke circle.
Nějaký medický, když tak tam můžete někoho poslat, přivezou nám lidi a pak budeme pokračovat dál.
Já rozumím, máme medický...
Right, the Force Unleashed is Vader's apprentice, my bad. Force Awakens is the other one.
Jo, pro všechny, náš pandur je na OP uniform, tak tam k němu doběhneme, všem.
We're doing alright, Hot Shot. Bloodwing just panic cleaning the house. It's one of those days. We're gonna go do an escape room later and I'm just gonna mess with her.
Jako my ti couvanem trošku víc do města, abyste nebyli tak na otevřeném prostranství.
Okay, borci, přesun, jo, na OP uniform. Za mnou.
I don't know, for Force Awakens, that's the first one. So honestly, I think most people could get through that one, to be honest. It's the second one.
V tom baráku, jak jsme skončili. Takom tom červenom.
The second one breaks
Já jsem
it.
teďka do panduru dával nějaký věci a jdu zpátky do baráku.
I'm gonna check off these for a second. Here's the thing, because Force Awakens is literally just copy and paste episode 4. Just, it's the, here, you can copy my homework, but please don't, like, make some differences so the teacher doesn't notice.
Jo, už můžete vyrážet to tam teď.
So who do I still hear here?
Takže můžeme všichni už?
No, jenom ty nejdůležitější, jako. Jestli tam jsou lidi, co nepotřebují pak, že se jim neklepou ruce nebo nemají zlámanou nohu, tak ať nechodí.
I'm gonna select some guys that died and check and uncheck their radios. Because theoretically I shouldn't be hearing anything, right, if I uncheck all of those. But Force Awakens I could probably get through. Because it was, yeah, just an episode 4 remake. Alright, cool. Nostalgia. They kill Han Solo. Ooh, spooky. The next one, though. I would get pissed off with Holdo. I would get annoyed at the side story. Like, I would definitely stop watching that one sometime. I'm trying to debate where would that stop be. And I honestly think what would make me walk out of the theater would be the hyperdrive scene where they ram the ship and destroy it. The Radis rams the flagship. That would be where I walk out. If I didn't walk out then, it would be when fucking Finn tries to sacrifice himself and then gets rammed by stupid bitch. And if for whatever reason I was still in the theater, Luke dying would also make me walk out.
Prosím, všichni dovnitř.
Why would it make me walk out? All right, hyperdrive scene, because that completely breaks everything in the lore. Stupid bitch ramming Finn, because you're a movie at the core, you're an insurgency that has to make sacrifices to win, essentially. And that was the whole point of, whatchamacallit, Rogue One, which I would say is the best Star Wars movie to come out of Disney by far. That was an amazing one. And, you know, take that, and then the next movie that comes out is fucking about, no, we have to defend what we love. It's like, no. Plus, I mean, it's contradictive. Because the First Order's blowing them up because they hate them and they're gonna win. It's so stupid. It's so fucking... And then the last one in the trilogy was just a new director trying to fix everything, which when you put it in that context, it was okay, but it still banked on nostalgia, but... Ay, ay, ay. The video of the scene, but it's lore accurate? What the... There's a hyperspace ramp? Oh, no, I gotta see that. They would just bounce off the fucking shielding, then. They would just disintegrate across the shield, wouldn't they not? Yeah. See, now, if they had a, if they had the people on that flagship disable the shields earlier and then, like, just made a statement to say they're not going to detect this for another few hours... Like, there's... what bugs me is there's so many little things that they could have done to actually fix that movie for the most part. Minus the whole side plot for finding the hacker guy. That made absolutely no sense. They could have done something better with that time. But everything else, other than Holdo's side plot, if they just had her explain her reasoning earlier, instead of keeping the audience in the dark, because that's exactly what they were doing. They were just trying to keep the audience in the dark by making, fucking what's-his-face look like an ass. That movie needed so many fixes, but the overall plot was okay. But it needed so much fix. God damn it. Alright, looks like they're starting to mount up again. I'm gonna turn on the radio cues for these guys, which are, again, they're the 43rd. So we'll just interchange between radio comms with the two major squads. I don't know. Star Wars, I'm just sticking to random Star Wars missions from communities I like or ones that I make myself. Not dealing with any Star Sims, because if you've been with me for a while, you know my tastes and preferences on that regard. And also, so long as the server doesn't kick me out while I'm playing.
Tyrone, čekáme, až to poničíte a budeme postupovat,
Alright, so we have a small group here.
Tam není co ničit, já nechápu, po čem si kurva střílí. Ogi, nestřílej.
There's something causing frame spikes, which is a little worrisome.
Jo, rozumím. Hopnice 4, můžeme postupovat před, příjem.
Tyrone, 040 jsem mrtvý, jo? Jsou tam na kraji lesa, jsou tam nějaký kontakty.
A ten už je zlikvidovaný, klid.
Myslím, že tam furt je člověče, ale nevím.
Modrá vpravo, zelená vlevo, jo? Modrá připraven.
Platz, I hope that reasoning then is so you can just show what bad writing is, because there would be no other reason to really watch them, in my opinion. If you want Star Wars content, stick to Legends.
My teďka nejspíš budeme postupovat s váma, jo? Budeme přímo za váma, s tím pandurem. Nebo spíš nalevo od vás.
Tyrone, něco z 030, jo? Nějaká palba.
Oh, balls. Yeah, where's the freaking HE autocannon? That should be lighting that fucking tree line up. It's a forest. There should be no threats of, or no risk of civilian property or life, so they should be just fucking up that forest.
Jo, zahujem přesun zase, jo, jdeme před.
I guess to keep their ammo conserved.
Souhlas. Ale my ještě jdeme po otevřeným, jdeme v klínu, až dorazíme na okraj lesa, vememe to do rodnice. 2 tady 4 potvrzuju.
You guys remember in the like 90s and a bit of the early 2000s where that was a good drop by that IFE, by the way, where they had a bunch of you know, people of color characters or female characters that were just badass in their own right, like the Mummy series. That was good shit. And now everything is just Mary Sue and empowerment and all that bullshit. Oh, fuck, he's dead. Yeah, so, as what's that said with the first AO? Smoke, Overwatch, and then quick dismount, because if you're caught in the open like this, you're fucked. That's exactly what's happening here. So now they're trying to pop smokes to be defensive, but... Hell, I mean, they've got an air asset, right? Do a fucking rocket strike on the edge of the tree line to give yourself some breathing room to get your infantry in, you know? That would be a little smarter in this situation, if you ask me. Oh, those guys are all still out there. Oh, God, a Bradley. And it's getting the toes out. That was a miss. He needs to be maneuvering away unless he's disabled. In which case, they need to pop... Yeah, so another one's coming. He needs to be, like, booking it here to assist. I think they have it disabled, though. There's a dismount. So the reason for the Bradley is because the hostile faction has raided an abandoned U.S. position that had a bunch of equipment on it. They're calling it he's down. Which I would have never believed that, but go look at what happened at Kudo's airport with the Taliban over the past week. And now I'll fucking believe that, man. That the U.S. will literally just leave behind their shit. Anything's possible at that point.
Andy, pokračujeme lesem rovně, jo? Pořád.
Čekám na kraji, jako, dorovnejte mě.
Go for it, Platts. I just consider the trilogy just bad fan fiction and leave it at that. The squad that we're listening to the comms of are on the right side. There's possibly a technical or a vehicle fleeing the scene. Alright, so that group that's here is now being deployed into the AO, so they're forming a defensive line. Forested combat is the most dangerous combat in Arma 3 because the AI are going to be able to see through the little nooks and crannies of the trees and snipe you through them. Whereas sometimes players aren't going to be able to have that luxury. Oh, I agree, Platts. Wait a minute. Did you fucking see that? Fucking... Huh. Bullets make us do crazy things, don't they? Also, I think someone just stepped on a mine. Or he was a mine layer and he planted one, because AI mods will have him do that, especially VCOM.
Borci, jste živí, mrkněte se po lidech, co se nehlásej.
Dandy, žijete?
Jo, já jsem tady nalevo v lese, zatím žiju.
Right up, Platts.
Máme kontakty sever, severovýchod.
Hot shot, I've never played a Metro game, unfortunately. Yeah, so this AO is a little bit tougher because they just noticed that a Bradley came down, so the Vics need to be a little more cautious, but with the forest being this thick, it's really hard for vehicles to penetrate in to assist the infantry. That's again why forest fighting can be so difficult. Trying to hit that guy.
Danlýhle stav.
Byla tady 4, jsme pokračujeme do centra.
So I don't know if these are random IEDs or mines that are going off.
Pošéfuj tam u sebe, kolik máš ztrát?
I'd imagine he tripped that, but...
Tady se mnou Lubo, Dandy to nejspíš stát, nevíme vůbec kde je.
Rozumím, zkus se po něm mrknout.
Rozumím.
4 zde 2, příjem.
Yeah, we got defensive line remaining in that forest. Everyone else appears to be down. Oh.
Prosím tě, hele, pokračujeme dopředu, ale máme tu miny.
Rozumím,
Volnik caught some shrapnel there.
Respektive zatím ho hledáme.
To jsem Dandyho,
Now, if I found out that I was going through a minefield, I would just pull the forces back and have them go up the MSR and have the APCs cover.
Jako hlaš stav.
Tyrone, 1 KIA, 2 těžce zraněný, řešíme to, příjem.
Rozumím, jestli budete potřebovat nějakého zdravotníka, zkusím se dostat z toho zvelení, příjem.
Zatím negativní, pojď sem tady prohledat, příjem.
Kadlíku,
Luky, Luboš, napoj se na mě a budeme to pročesávat, jo?
A tady 4, ten les je podminovaný a nemáme IO.
Jako opakuju, Kadlík je mrtvej.
Rozumím. 2, rozumím, takže vycouváme z lesa a budeme nějak řešit to s velením všem.
2, tady 4, přesně tak.
Jo, pro všechny, vycouvat na okraji lesa, les je zaminovaný a nemáme nic proti tomu. Tyro nehlásím 2 KIA, jo?
So that line is now, I believe, been aggroed, which is why they're auto-taking cover now. Yeah, he's left his animation. Or he was part of the group that's actually gone up. Can we find suppressed M4 man?
Tyro nestáli jsme se na okraji lesa, protože les je celý zaminovaný všem.
Because he's not here anymore. Yeah, it appears to be where they've brought up some of that US supplies.
Odběhl a trošku se zaseklo velení, takže nevím, co se teď bude dít, vole.
Jo, rozumím. Peťulko, pošetři si zraněný a pokud někdo bude potřeba potom vyloženě doktora, tak mi řekni, jo?
Hele, Davidou, že vzhůru, akorát ten Kadlík a jestli někdo jiný, nevím, nikdo se mi nehlásil.
Rozumím, Kadlík a Dandy jsou KIA.
OK.
Jo, všichni co můžete, buďte na okraji lesa, jo? Ať vidíte do toho lesíku.
What concerns me is this guy's carrying this guy on his own as these guys stay back here, and he's part of that group, so I'm not sure why no one's come up to assist him, you know? Maybe because they fear the minefield and now they're leaving this area. They don't want to send anyone else to potentially step on something. Which is the right call, but at least call for like one guy. I think one guy would be a good enough risk because you need that overwatch. One guy just carrying him back, that's a lot of work. Right, Hawkeye, thanks for jumping by.
4 zde 2, já vás vidím, jsem po vaší pravé straně na okraji lesa. Máme 2 KIA a 1 zraněnýho všem. 2-4, rozumím, out.
Alright, so again, we just have that defensive line right there. I'm going to start looking at the 3rd sector. Is there anything? Yep, alright, so they're starting to put stuff down. Appears to be just a fire team worth it. Oh, no, here's the other one. Jeez, they're so well in that even thermals are having a tough time detecting them.
Jo, rozumím.
They're told to stay at the forest edge and keep watch. Thank you. Please help translate. Well, yeah, no, that makes sense, because again, mines.
Jak jsi na tom s těma zraněnýma? Potřebujete nějakou zdravotnickou pomoc nebo něco? Letí nám senka teďka medevac.
Peťulko, potřebujeme doktora.
Medevac.
Hele, ten jeden vodník je akorát dost na sračky, no, nemá puls zatím momentálně.
Tyrone, jeden spojenecký voják je tady totálně na sračky, takže asi bys tady hodil.
Hele, jestli to není z našeho družstva, tak se to vyřeší, vole, Trojan 4, to mě nezajímá. Ti si budou volat medevac nebo něco.
Jo, rozumím. Peťulko, potřebuje Davido? To, medika?
Hele, Davido je v pohodě celý, ale ten spojenecký se mu ošetřoval někam zmizel úplně totál, nevím.
Spojenecký, opakuj, poslední. 4 zde 2, jenomže náš medic ošetřuje vašeho zraněnýho, který se teďka někam asi zmizel pod texturu všem. Aha, dobře, a co to znamená pro nás? Máme si tam pro ně jít? Ne, musíte, mi to... A prej už je KIA všem. 2 tady 4, rozumím. Oh.
Now...
Jo, tady jdeme, jinak nic nepotřebujeme.
Honestly, yeah, it should just be infantry come up this way, use the MSR, because it's easier to see off of that, and then have the APCs cover.
Říkám, že my nic nepotřebujeme, jo?
Jo, záhlasil jsem.
They really want to be extensive, have 1 or 2 APCs here, and then have, if this is 2, then have 1 go all the way around, staying in the open, but then again, that's actually really dangerous. So I would just keep the 3 APCs together here in a line formation, have 1 watch directly up, have 1 watch the left forested side, have 1 watch the right forested side. And then this would be the danger zone because those are the buildings in the AO, you know? So now I think they're just dealing with the medevac. And then they're going to probably get up and go on the right flank, or they're going to risk it and keep going through the minefield.
Tady 4 letí sem helikoptér a doveze nám mrtvý lidi.
Now, another role that heli could be doing is more of a reconnaissance role and a CAS role. Especially, like, on the town, I don't think the CAS would have been needed to be done because they probably want to preserve infrastructure. But the tree line, again, I think this should have been a rocket strike, followed by smoking the tree line with UGL fire. And we just heard an RPG actually go up in the air and actually try to hit that thing, but heard another one come up. Oh, no, they brought an SPG-9 up.
Nebo kdo trefil?
Yeah, it was a bit of a high orbital. Usually you want to come in a little lower, but maybe he was doing some preliminary recon. Either way, a rocket strike with smoke, or heck, even a smoke rocket strike, but something to freak everyone out that was garrisoned on that tree line, then just go with HE autocannon fire. Because, again, with it being a forest, you don't really have to worry that much about civilian damage, infrastructure damage or civilian casualties. You can destroy all you need to get up to the edge. Rush in with the APCs, deploy the 2 squads, have the 3rd one doing that Overwatch. You can have the ones charging, also firing HE, and then pull those IFEs back, you know, 100 meters or so. Not turning around, but physically just backing up, and then let the infantry get in the tree line, wait for that smoke to billow out, and you're good. Oh no, I would say for a like the standard of it is the most hardcore medical settings you can have. And it's a 30-person scenario, and it's meant to be a Milsim atmosphere. This is actually on the higher end, from what I've seen. The tactics haven't been perfect, but they've been good for at least for what they've been trying to achieve. In the sense that the APCs have been overwatching the infantry properly. The APCs haven't been hogging all the action. They haven't been directly destroying buildings, which probably means they're limited to not engage buildings with any sort of HE element. They've been leaving the infantry to do that, so the infantry has had a good amount of stuff to do. The only slowdowns have been for medical and regroup, which it would be expected in one of these types of scenarios. The Zeus hasn't been over malicious, but hasn't been afraid to kill a player here or there, have the AI kill a player here or there. So, it's good. I would say, again, this is definitely on the higher side of, you know, for something of this category. Ways it could be much worse is if the vehicles weren't coordinating properly with the infantry, or the vehicles were getting all the kills and leaving the infantry nothing to do. Same with air. I would say air is being a little underutilized, though, but that could be anything. And I think they just found and destroyed an IED under a bush. Nice. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, they're mounting up. They're probably going to go up that MSR. And after that group's mounted, they'll either come left or maybe they'll do a wide flank around. But it was funny because I think the guy that's Zeusing is the guy that invited me to spectate. And there were some people that told him they were worried that I'd get too bored in the downtime, but it gives us a chance to kind of review everything they did and then critique it, you know? But also it gives me a chance to just look at how another community does stuff and then review it in my head and compare it to everything else I know. It's been a good op, though. Definitely. But we won't know until we hear it from the players if they had fun or not, because that's the most important step. But then again, I'll never know because I don't understand the language. So I'll ask my contact afterwards. Now, this is a little dangerous because they have to get this compound cleared out. I don't think they even know that there's hostiles here. So they could be immediately flanked on the left, and then there's a far tree line here that could start shooting at them. And then there's also that SPG-9 Vic right here overwatching the road. So that could easily destroy one of those IFE APCs. Since wheeled Vics generally have thinner armor than tracked Vics. So I think one SPG-9 could actually just knock out a Vic entirely. So this is going to be a very dangerous push. That lead Vic, when you have a 3 Vic convoy like this, lead Vic focuses on what's forward. Left Vic picks a direction. Excuse me, it's left Vic. Second Vic picks a direction, left or right, and then the third Vic goes the opposite direction. So lead Vic watches front. Second Vic, if it watches left, third Vic needs to watch right. The one weakness is there's no rear security, but if there was a 4th Vic, then the 4th Vic would focus on rear security. If it was the last Vic. Now, if there were 5 Vics, you would have front, left, and then rear. 6 Vics, front, left, and then rear. Or you go right, left. It's just dependent on what the second vehicle chooses, and either they decide or their commanding element decides. So we've got front. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, left and then right. SPG-9 just engaged. And that IFE was able to take it out. I made that IFE look forward. Now, yep, everyone's getting target fixated front, which is bad, because if there's stuff still on the left with AT, they're going to be able to smoke these. Now you got dismounts from that SPG-9 they're firing at. looks like they're pushing past this position. Which again makes sense because it's technically out of the zone. Nope, they're actually pulling left. All right. I was about to say, because they've been really strict about their zones for this, so I wouldn't be surprised if they like pulled away from this spot. But they see vehicles and units, that should be a good enough tell for them that they need to dismount and check this out. See, now that I'm a little perplexed about, because you know there's contacts here, yet you're focusing right there and you're parked right next to it. If anything, that Vic that's further out should be focusing on that direction, but this Vic that went right there should be on that. So we just had a guy get into a Vic and try to pull VBIED, and if that Vic wasn't looking back, it would have been able to take out that APC because it was focused on the opposite direction. That's something I wish Arma AI would do. The infantry would actually shoot at the vehicles, because that happens all the time in real combat, but because of how the AI are coded, infantry generally don't shoot at armored Vics that they can't do anything to. But it's just harassment, and that's something that happens all the damn time, so I wish we had something like that. Usually what I have to do is I have to put invisible targets on the vehicle so the infantry will shoot at them.
Tam nějaký civilní kamaz, jo? Tady 4, rozumím. Na kontakty, asi mrtvý doufám.
Yeah, so it had infantry in the back of it, and you just saw a bunch of blood splatters from them getting hit. Now these guys are shooting at infantry coming around. This is what I'm worried about. That's an RC. Yeah, there's no way in the opening back of that particular building. So he's gonna come around on the left. But Dundee just came by and murked everything, but that IFE is exposed. But there's Defilade in the way. Ooh. Gun disabled. Is it gonna blow up? Oh, well that blew up.
Luboš, Dandy zranění těžké. Peťulka to dostal asi rovnou mrtvý. Potřebuje doktora, 2 zranění.
What caused that?
Tady 4 potřebujete pomoc, můžeme vám tam poslat našeho medika. Jo, určitě budeme potřebovat, máme našeho medika zraněnýho.
Kadlík tady odpadl, potřebujeme.
So dismounting immediately to repair your Vic is a really bad idea. You generally want to pull back to cover before you do that, because you can't guarantee that the threat was eliminated.
Mezi nimi je i medic, jo, budeme potřebovat vejít spíš doktora, příjem.
Rozumím. Opakuji, medic je mrtev.
Tady 4, tak náš medic je taky dole. Jo, rozumím.
Yeah, 4 dudes died in that blast.
Takže tady máme teďka 2 zraněný, příjem. Tyrone, 1 KIA, opakuju, je zdravotníka, těžce zraněný, příjem.
I'm curious though to what caused that. That was the ammunition and stuff.
Abyste dělali krytí, jo, potřebuji, aby někdo kryl vest a south.
So either that was a trap or someone just blew it up. I will admit, that is a little too mean for my taste, but I know Zeus is like to rig stuff to explode. Actually, wait, yeah, no, that's, yeah, it's an AI.
Jo, čumím na vest.
Rozumím, Luky, žiješ?
Jo, ošetřuju Kadlíka.
Rozumím.
Já nevím, ale jsi už je mrtvý.
2 medics downed out. Ah, so that, took out the medic. Actually, there's a 5th guy dead. Yeah, so that explains the panic on the radio. Oh, they just threw a drone in the air. Oh god, it's a government bird. Something else just cooked off over here. I didn't see any texture there, though, so I don't know what that explosion was, but that hit Lowy. Knocked a tree over here. I'm worried about that Vic cooking off and killing Hunter. And then potentially blowing this building up and killing all these guys, too. Yeah, there's quite a few guys down.
Negativně já navrhuji, aby jsme se vole co nejrychleji teďka sebrali a stáhli se zpátky pryč odsud, protože to tady je taky celý podminovaný.
Well, Kuba Jack, it's a Czech community, so that's why you hear Czechoslovakian. I'd assume you still call it that. Probably. Because I know Czechoslovakia changed to the Czech Republic. But in terms of languages, yeah, no, it's still the same. Dumb question for me to ask, I apologize.
Rozumíme vás, zkusíme potahat k autům všem.
Yeah, that follow-up explosion.
Ale Tyronet, druhý družstvo je úplně skoro dead, jo? Oni za chvilku prej odpadnou a nemáme tady tolik zdravotníků všem. Rozumím, zálasím. Čtyři zde dva, zkuste se rychle přesunout k vozidlům všem.
So they got one up in the air, they got another one on the ground here.
Tak ať ten jejich pandur sem dojede a nabere je rychle, vole.
A third guy just went unconscious. They're gonna be tough to find in the knocked out trees. Ooh, this is brutal. They were out here about to start a race war between the Czechs and the Slovaks. So I'm sorry. Oh, chilling. I don't think that's a question to ask here. Ask the Scots why they don't like the Southerners. Oh, man. Alright, so I doubt anything is going to happen on the Zeus side because of the amount of KIAs that happened with those explosives going up. See, guys, this is why I don't trust birds, okay? Because on far away, this is clearly a flock of birds, right? Two birds. But on closer inspection, they're actually government surveillance drones, alright? They can just hold themselves in the air. They can just suspend themselves, all right? Bird shit, you know? That's what birds do. Ah, I see. One of the Czech players has turned on their cloaking device, but I guess the insurgents found him and are executing him. Man, that's another Czechoslovakian casualty there. Tough. Tough break. I'd imagine that helicopter's coming back with, nope, it's still in the air. Jeez, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 reinserts. Yeah, they gotta really make sure that they get the guy. Isn't that cloaking device? I would assume it was probably a bad suppression command, because sometimes when you set up suppression, the AI won't lock to the target and they'll just start shooting in a random direction. I am aware of that bug. It's a little annoying. But I think maybe they were trying to have him shoot at the IFE, which has repaired itself. pretty funny either way.
Borci z našeho družstva, žijete ještě někdo? Borci z dvojky, žijete někdo? Ale Tyronem mě asi úplně všichni odpadli, vole.
Fajn, běžím tam za tebou.
See, I don't think the hill's in the way though, so I'm not sure what he's shooting at per se. Oh god, you have the shadows of the birds. Wait. Oh god, it's another drone, guys. They've got 3 in the air now, 4 in the air now. There we go. I've been waiting for that all day. I think the IFV is firing overhead here. Yeah, they got out of the striker and the gun's disabled. Now they're just firing at the infantry.
Tyro, nemáš někoho z našich?
Negativní, nemám nikoho z našich, pouze mám Xavera Ogiho v Panduru.
Rozumím.
Yeah, so I imagine these guys are not pulling back because they got an airstrike and they're being suppressed, so AI would probably go to defend only and pull back.
Rozumím, zahlásím to Spartanovi.
Okay, let's check off the comms for a second. Yeah, only one guy in the group survived because everyone else had their stuff unchecked. Ouch. So, Nomas is a player in OFCRA, and I always DM him. Actually, no, his name's Nomad. My bad. Because here's the funny thing. So Nomad is the guy that comes in and watch it. Wait, no. Nomad's the player. Okay, fuck. Take it back. There's 2 guys. There's Nomas, who is a viewer in my chat. And I said, oh, there's another guy named Nomas too, and this was like months ago. But his name was actually Nomad. So who the heck do I still hear right now? Because everyone else died. I'm just gonna check everything and then uncheck everything. Because that's how these comms should work, so it is a little buggy, but that's fine. But Nomad, who's the OFCRA player, invited me 2 weeks ago to say, hey, you know, we're doing this, like, Czech group meetup. Would you like to come spectate? And I'm like, yeah, sure, fuck it. Why not? Because, again, one of the things I do from time to time is I do spectate other people's Zeus missions, just so I can learn, you know, what they do and see if there's anything I can adapt in that regard. See, I'm trying to figure out where those radio comms are coming from. Jeez, he's got 3 different nets to manage.
Já nechci dělat, co tam píšu teďka na tom streamu ani, vole, úplně jsme mrtky, ty píče, ty vole.
So that's how I was able to get into it. Yeah, they're panders. No problem, Laramis. I'm gonna thank Nomad again for inviting me, but again, they He did tell me some people were worried that it would be too slow at some parts and I would be under entertainment. No, this is all part of the experience. To have a hardcore medical milsim op, this is about the pace you would expect. Especially if, you know, explosions went off and killed almost everyone.
Zhopli ty 4, přežili 3 lidi, jo?
Rozumím.
Yeah, I think I've glitched my comms out. Now we're just gonna hear, I don't even know who it is.
Úkoly nebo čekáme až na ty posily?
Čekáme na posily.
Rozumím. Vole, to byla sračka jak se vině, ty vole, co tady viděl, ty vole. Nechápu ty výbuchy, co tady byly.
Nevím, prostě. Fakt jakože na druhou stranu docela dobře připravený ambush.
Jako jo, ale prostě ty výbuchy, co tady byly, tak hnedka ten první výbuch tady zabil, vole, 90% lidí, vole.
Yeah, so I'm hearing comms between Jacko and Harry on.
Nebyli úplně jako namrcasený ani u
That's
té budovy, vole.
Jacko speaking, but again, I have his stuff checked off and then on again, so I don't know why I'm hearing it. I think it bugged out. I just saw 5 people go unconscious. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Co jako?
Guys, it happens in every community. Professional or casual, meme or serious, you will always have something explode back at base. It's just how Arma works. I love it. So the reason insurgents have strikers is because the I forgot the term, it's in the map, mission command, but the insurgents raided an American base.
Tady je prostě na hovno to, že jsem tady neumí pracovat s těma pandurama vůbec, ale absolutně.
And took everything.
Práce prostě.
Which I would have never believed,
jako,
but
nemyslím, že děláte něco vy špatně, jo, to se ne.
If you go look
Já
at...
jsem teď neposlouchal, na mě mluvil velitel ještě jednou.
Ne, říkám, že tady je na hovno to, že se neumí
Yeah, so
pracovat
he's
s těma
communicating with
pandurama.
his Pandor here.
Hele, já se snažím s váma držet krok, ale víš co, zase nechci...
Ne, jakoby říkám...
Prostě mám velitele a snažím se poslouchat jeho rozkazy.
Here, I'm actually going to...
to je prostě jako na to velení, vole.
I'm gonna abort and come back in, just because with the comms glitched out like that, I want to be able to toggle between different groups, and it is a little annoying to keep hearing it. Google's a big manual anyway, yeah, right? Represented in their comms, every second word is an insult.